Anyway, thanks for everybody being here today. It's a beautiful day, great day to celebrate Rotary today too. So we have some obviously very special guests here, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, Bob Ely has our song and pledge.
Alrighty. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bob. Todd Wolf has our invocation.
Bow our heads, please. Dear God, we'd like to take this time to thank you for the many things that you provide us in life. We thank you for the fellowship of Rotary that our club celebrates. We also ask that you continue to provide us the resources and the ability to help others through our local, national, and international projects for many years. We ask that you look after our nation and ask that you protect the health of families and friends. We also ask that you help our political leaders at a local, national, and international level make decisions based on four-way tests. Last but not least, we ask that you provide your protection to our military men and women who put themselves in harm's way to provide us freedom. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Tom. Our guests and visitors, Oliver Smith.
Good afternoon. We have several guests with us today. Marshall Parker, you have a guest.
I have Mr. David Peake, and I know him from Rotary at the Alamo Airport. He's got an airplane, Mustang, but he only has one engine now. It's supposed to have two. But he's got this powder, which is an automatic plane. And you tell what you do.
Okay, gladly. Well, thank you all for having me here. Thank Marshall for inviting. Just a little bit of my background. I've been in Knoxville a long time. Started in public accounting back in the mid-'80s and joined one of my clients, Goody's Family Clothing, and I worked with them for 20 years and left there as their CFO amidst all the turmoil that we went through. Joined Edison Learning downtown, a Chris Whittle company, and have worked with them for about 4 years or so, and that company went up for sale about a year ago, and I worked on selling it. So I just did that this spring. Now I'm working with a new firm. It's called B2B CFO, and it's a unique company. It's a firm where ex-CFOs, all the partners have been a CFO somewhere, and now we service small to mid-sized companies, really just trying to help them achieve that higher level of success. That's what we do. Thank you.
Marshall, please bring qualified members to the club next time. It's very embarrassing. Bo Sutton has a guest.
I have with me today David Loon from Northern Loon. He's an attorney. He's an attorney here today. I'm looking to bring up our reputation with attorneys. So David's here. David's a Knoxville native, and you have anything to say?
I practice law, do wills and estate planning, and half my practice, the other half is business law, contracts, leases, that sort of thing.
Okay, excellent.
Constantine has a guest with us today.
I do. It's a familiar face to many of us. It's my favorite mother-in-law. She's visiting for this month specifically for what's happening a week from today, which is Greek Fest. So she's here to eat and help us as well. So keep that in mind for next weekend's Greek Fest. All right, thanks.
And Gary West has a special guest. Gary?
My wife and best friend, Patty, and fellow bucket challenge person.
And we have some visitors here today. Patty Daughtry, of course, our assistant governor from the Ferry Club. Patty. And Brent Millette from Downtown Club. Brent. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, one more. I'd like to recognize J.T. Carver. He's back with us today. J.T., we missed you.
JT, we sure did. If you've not seen JT, make sure you stop by and say hello to him on your way out today. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Mobile Meals, Janice.
Yes. Oh, I'm not coming after humor. Surprise.
Oh, wait, you are. I'm sorry. I did miss.
No.
Sam Carey. I'm sorry. I saw Sam.
Do you want humor? Or do you
That was actually a Freudian slip, I believe.
We'll do mobile meals quickly.
Okay,
Shall
go
we?
ahead.
Okay,
Okay.
quickly we'll do mobile meals. Tommy Wolf was to deliver today, and he had a little conflict, and so Jason delivered instead, and then Jason, it's next week when Tommy's going to take his place, and Clarence signed up for October, and Jason is going to go with Clarence so that you can get an idea how to do that, and that's the way to do it. If you don't want to do it by yourself, ask to shadow somebody, and then they can help you do it. So September's taken care of, and we're looking toward October. Thank you.
Thanks, Janice. Now we've got humor with Sam Carey.
All right. Today, there's just so many unanswered questions in this world to me. This, you know, these things, for example, this makes you go, You know, there's a lot of things, and you just mark my word, when you hear some of these things I've come across, it makes you go, You know, like, you know, there's in numerals, there's 51, 41, 31, 21. How come 11 isn't 1D1? You know, and maybe I watch too many commercials on TV, you know, but if it says that 4 out of 5 people suffer from diarrhea, do 1 in 5 actually enjoy it? Golly, it's a good day, isn't it? You know, and if people from Poland are called Poles, why aren't people from Holland called Poles? If a pig loses his voice, is it disgruntled? And you know, if a person who plays the piano is a pianist, how come a guy who doesn't drive a car, why isn't he a racist? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. And if it's true that we're here to help others, what are the others here for? I never have understood that, you know. I don't get it. And here's something real interesting. If lawyers are disbarred and clergymen are defrocked, then doesn't it follow that electricians can be delighted, musicians denoted, cowboys deranged, models deposed, tree surgeons debarked, and dry cleaners depressed? And here, here's something I never have known. Do Lipton tea employees take coffee breaks? Oh, now here's one I've always wondered about. What's the hair color on the driver's license of bald men? Bob? What? I'm going to check my father's driver's license, see if it says bald. You know, I don't know. Oh, and here...
Mine just says handsome, is what mine is.
Okay, Pinocchio. And here, another thing I've always wondered, you know, when we're growing up, or you mothers, when you feed your babies, you know, your tiny little forks and spoons you feed your babies with, you know, what did Chinese mothers use? Toothpicks? Open mouth, grasshopper. I mean, think about it. If a cow laughed, would milk come out of her nose? And another unanswered question. Whatever happened to preparations A through G? And here's, Gene Bearden's not here today, is she? I'm going to show a hand what bankers we got here. Okay, this is for you all. Why do banks charge a fee due to insufficient funds when they know you're already broke? Now what do you do? Why doesn't Tarzan have a beard? I don't know. How come Superman can stop bullets with his chest? Though you throw a revolver at him, he does. You know, I don't get it. Why did kamikazes ever wear helmets? Yeah, and here's one I can relate with. Whose cruel idea was it to put the letter S in lisp? I personally think that sucks. It's not fair. And if people evolve from apes, why do we still have apes? Everybody say, And you thought I was through. I guess I better hurry. We've got a speaker before you know it. Yeah. And here's something I've always never wondered. How did all those dead bugs get up in those seal light fixtures? I don't get it. I'm about through. I swear to goodness I am. What?
Your food's getting cold.
All right, I'm about through. I swear to goodness I am. And how comes it? Why is it that you take a vacuum cleaner and you run it over a thread a dozen times, and then you pick the thread up and you look it over, and then you put it back down, and you get that vacuum cleaner one more time? And I'll finalize with this. How come? What? How come they put pictures of criminals in post office? You know, what are we supposed to do? Write to them? You know, I got a much better idea. I think they should put pictures of criminals on the postage stamps, so that way the mailmen can find those guys when they're delivering the mail.
Thanks, Sam. Dick, would you like to talk about Pond Gap?
Yeah, sure would. All of you should have received an email from me this week. If you did not receive an email, raise your hand. Okay. All right, I sent an email out on the status of the breeding program at Pond Gap. You short of it is, they're not ready for us yet. They have a new administration, a bunch of new stuff coming your way. It may be 1st of October when it's ready to begin. Before, I'll sit around and sign up sheet as in the past. And I may come up with some nice electronic way to register if Leo can ever get through my thick head how to do it. Second thing is coupon books. Thank you. We sold a bunch of them last week. It's not too late to buy if you want to buy some. I don't have enough books to give them to you today, but give me the cash and I'll bring them next week. I really will. Thank you.
Thanks. I've already used 2 coupons. They're great books. Stuart, you want to talk about flu shot Saturday?
Yes, thank you. We're a week and a wake up away from a flu shot Saturday for West High School on the 27th. As the last time I checked on the roster, we have 12 people signed up. We need 15 to 20. So I just need 3 to 8 more people to help out. We'll muddle through somehow anyway, but could really use your help. We've got about 87 people in this club, and I'd like to think we can get 20 pretty easily. So if you can help out from 7 to 12 next Saturday, that'd be so great and very much appreciated.
Thanks, Stuart. Todd, do you want to say something about labels?
Tuesday, we're doing labels. We've got about 4,700 of them. We've got 25 people signed up. We could use a few more. It just doesn't take as long if we have more. So it's a great time. We'll have some soft drinks, and it's a great time to meet the other Rotarians. Some family members will be there. Come on out if you can. We'll start about 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and it's going to be 1,000. Where's one of the sheets? Got the address on the sign. 1,000 Central Avenue. Just go around by.
If you know where the old Sears building is, that's what it is. So, anyway, thanks, Todd. We have a birthday coming up for one of our members, very young member, I must say, this Sunday. Haynes Smith is going to be 90 years old.
Oh.
Do you want us to sing, or do you really want to hear us?
I think you'll wait to hear.
We'll sing. All right. All right.
Sing? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Haynes. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Couldn't have done it better myself, could I?
Is there any more announcements before I introduce our guest today? Go ahead.
I'm gonna do my thing about membership or wait till next week.
Well,
It's up to you.
let's wait if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, our guest, a very modest and humble person, and I know he's going to be upset with me by reading his bio here, but I'm not going to read it word for word because we'll be here for the next hour. But anyway, I do want to hit some highlights. Our distinguished guest here today is Jerry Ware. He's the district governor of 6780 and has been doing a great job, obviously. Anyway, I'll just go over quickly some of the highlights here. He's been a public school administrator for 44 years in the Sevier County school system. He's been with the Rotary Club of Pigeon Forge since '84. He's been president, board of directors, he's project chairman, served District 6780 as chairman of the Youth Exchange Committee, member of the Group State Exchange Committee, the Planning Committee for 2 district conferences, and the Rotary International President's World Interact Conference held in Pigeon Forge. Gary was a member of the Ohio Erie Multi-District Rotary Youth Exchange Committee for 22 years, where he served as chief contact and country contact for France, Belgium, Italy, and Spain. He was a delegate to the Europe, Eastern Mediterranean, and African Youth Exchange Conferences in Madrid, Brussels, and Lille, representing the United States and Canada Rotary districts. He's a multiple Paul Harris Fellow. He served as Assistant District Governor from 2009 to 2012. He's a graduate of LMU, Ole Miss, and UT. Is married to Linda, his wife, who's sitting next to him there. Linda's been a teacher, had been a teacher for 40 years. Science teacher, great. 3 sons, 5 grandchildren. He's a member of Methodist Church. He's authored 4 books. He's a trustee of the John and Ina Berkshire Scholarship Fund that's provided over $500,000 to Sevier County high school students. He served as chairman of the Sevier County Bicentennial Committee and on the Tennessee Bicentennial Committee with Alex Haley, the late Alex Haley. He was named East Tennessee Principal of the Year and was awarded the J. Pritchard Barnes Community Service Award by the Pigeon Forge Rotary Club. He's been named Rotarian of the Year twice and was the District 6780 Rotarian of the Year in 2004. Let's see, District 7670, Western North Carolina, presenting the Governor's Award for service to Rotary. He served on the Sevier County Commission for 26 years. He's an honorary delegate to the Tennessee Constitutional Convention held in Nashville. He also served 3 years as chairman of the East Tennessee Teacher Certification Committee, or Commission. But other than that, the guy just has not done anything. So anyway, without ado, I would like to introduce our district governor, Jerry Ware.
I am truly honored to be here, and I'm honored to serve as your district governor. You know, it's an opportunity that comes along. It wasn't something I planned for. It wasn't something that Lynn and I planned for. But we've been involved in Rotary for many years, and the opportunity came, and I was so excited. Every year, a new president of Rotary International is selected, and he comes up with a theme. And that theme is 3 simple words: light up Rotary. And a lot of people listen to that theme and think, well, how simple that is. What is he talking about? What does he mean? But Gary took a long time to come up with that theme because he thought it was very important. It's an all-inclusive theme because he went back through the major religions of the world, the great philosophers of the world, and then common sayings. It's very important this day and time to let people know what Rotarians do in the world. And that's exactly the message he's giving. He wants us to light up Rotary, to show the world what we are doing. Rotarians are sometimes sort of hesitant to do that because they think they may be bragging. But you know, we need a lot of hands to do our projects and to accomplish our goals. And we can't get those hands unless people understand who we are and what we stand for and what we're doing. When they hear the message of each of you, of what you do in your community, then there's people out there who would like to be part of this and would like to help you. So he says, let your little light shine. You know, don't sit in the corner and curse the darkness when you can light one light and light up the world. That's what he's meaning by light up Rotary. He wants us to tell Rotary what we're doing, tell the communities what we're doing and what you stand for. But he also wants us to be excited about what we do. Because one little light may shine in a little room, but 1.2 million of us can make a big difference in the world. So with us joining together, we can accomplish a great deal. It's real important that we join together. You know, the other thing that he did that was interesting is that he wants all of his governors, all 523 of us around the world, to dress similarly. So he allowed us to buy his jacket, which we did. It was fine. And then he gave us his tie. Well, I looked at it a little, and I thought, you know, that's pretty strange. There's not many Sevier County mountain boys that wear this much bling. So, but I had another quandary. You know, I like biscuits and gravy for breakfast. What if I should spill gravy on this tie? Do I take it to the cleaners? Or do I have to go to the local jewelers and have it repaired? I don't know, with all these little stones here. But I'm proud to wear his tie because I'm proud to send his message. It's an important message. You know, Rotary has lots of things that they do in the world, and sometimes we forget what Rotary was all about. In 1905, when it was formed by Paul Harris, he had an idea. You know, he had been a successful lawyer, but you know lawyers, they don't have a lot of friends most of the time. But he thought, I've been successful, I love my community, and I want to make a difference here, to make it a better place to live. How can I do that? His idea was to go into the community and find people from different vocations with different talents that they could join together with this diverse abilities and accomplish a goal. He felt that that would be very beneficial for accomplishing a goal and sharing what they had with the community. He also needed some friends, so this was the opportunity to have camaraderie, to make another group of friends that he could meet with and enjoy, and they rotated from office to office. Those things are very important. We sometimes forget that, the importance of the networking, because that's the reason we have the classification system. You are the leaders in this community. You have a diverse background, but each unique talent that you have, you bring to Rotary when you decide on a goal that you're going to accomplish. And you can find somebody that can help you with any kind of decision that comes up. So that's very important in Rotary. The other thing is, Rotary was founded to help in this community. You know, you don't have to go to Africa or South America or Asia to find need. It's right here in Knox County. It's right here in Bearden. There's people who need your help. Your first responsibility as a Rotarian and a Rotary Club is to serve this community. But we do live in a bigger world. This bigger world has many challenges. You know, our poverty here is much different from the poverty around the world. Most of our poor children, they have shoes. They have access to clean water. They have meals, if not at school, with some organization, or some parents provide them with good meals and good opportunities. But there's people in this world who have none of that. They have no hope. They have no education. They have no chance. So we as Rotarians have an obligation to help those people too. As Linda and I have traveled around the world, we have seen what Rotary really does. Until you look into some of those eyes and you see some of the conditions that we have on this small planet, you don't understand. You know, I can tell you, but I want to share examples of probably 5 things that our district is doing. Now, this project is a global grant. It's not the best, it's not the only. We have great grants all around the world, but this is just one thing. For the last 2 years, I've served on the Heart to Heart program, where I visit districts 4170. In that district, we have developed a relationship because they are willing to help us. They put their money into the project. They put their hands into the project and they work at it. We sometimes make mistakes as Rotarians of trying to give out handouts rather than hand-ups. We want to help people improve, not just to continually to give people something without any change in their behavior or their situation. What we did this last year is we went to 4170 and we met with 36 presidents of local Rotary clubs. They told us the projects that they would propose that we helped them with. They took us to places so we could see what they wanted to do. And then they asked us to help. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money to fund all 36 projects. We chose to fund 5. The 5 that we chose are funded by the money that you give to the foundation. That foundation money doesn't just go to Evanston and stay there. It really helps around the world. It saves lives. We walked into this room and there were 76 teenagers and young children. Each one of them had had a kidney transplant. In Mexico City, it has one of the largest renal failures of any place in the world outside Bangladesh. Now, Why is that? We don't know. It could be diet, it could be the bad water, it could be genetics, it could be a combination of those things. The research really hasn't been done to say why it happens, but it happens. In Mexico, it's a strange place, because if you don't have money, you don't have help. The mother was standing at the podium. She was talking to us. She didn't speak any English at all. She was speaking Spanish. Tears were running down her cheeks, and she looked at us because she knew where we were from and what we had been doing for the last 8 years. And she said, last year, I went to the hospital with this young girl. A 4-year-old child was standing there bouncing around. You know how 4-year-olds are. They were oblivious to all those people in the room, the 76 people, their families, and us. She was just having fun standing there. And it touched my heart because I have 2 granddaughters that were 4 years old. So I know how much they mean to me. I know how much this child meant to her. She'd gone to the hospital and she said, please, please help me. Her daughter was emaciated. Her hair was falling out. She could no longer walk. She was near death. And the receptionist said, do you have money? And she said, no, I have no money. Please help me. Please help me. And she said, go away. We can't help you. Because if you don't have money, you don't get medical care unless there's a church, an organization, or Rotary there to help you. Fortunately, somebody that was sitting in the waiting room overheard that conversation. And she took that lady downtown to visit a man we affectionately call Nacho. That's not his name, but that's what he wants to be called. He was a wealthy doctor who had to have a kidney transplant, who came to America, got a kidney transplant, and went back. And then he realized hundreds of people are dying from this. He's very successful. He funds 1/4 of this project out of his own pocket through his Rotary Club. We were able to find a donor. The little girl had a transplant and she's perfectly healthy. The mother looked at us and said, please go back to Tennessee and tell those people, those Rotarians, thank you for giving your money to give me back my daughter. That's what your money to the foundation does. It saves lives. It makes a difference in the world. I'm going to just briefly mention the other projects because you'll know what we're doing there. The reason I went on this mission project with Rotary was they were doing water tanks at school. Being in school administration, I was just amazed. We went to this one school. We were dedicating a water tank that was purchased by the Chattanooga Hamilton Club. We buy a tank. We have it shipped there. We pay for the water that goes into it because all water in Mexico belongs to the government. Even if it's on your private land, the water belongs to the government of Mexico. So we buy the water and fill it up. The Rotary Club down there matches our funds. We take our funds and their funds and we get a global grant which is matched $2.50 to $1. That pays for those water tanks. This school had 600 students. Never had water at school. Because it's in a hot, arid location, they could only go to school for half a day. At the end of that half day, they went home. There was one open pit toilet. Not one for girls and one for boys. One open pit toilet. So they have no sanitation. And they move this toilet from place to place. So that will probably be the next thing we'll be working on will be toilets for that school. But you can't believe that those kids were so excited when we were able to open the spigot and the water shot up and they could get a drink of water at their school. It's not by pumps, it's all by gravity. It flows down. We put the tanks up high and the water flows out through the system. In this country, most of our kids don't even drink out of water fountain. They have to have bottled water. And to think about these children who have no water whatsoever, your money paid for that. Another project that we're doing, this is an experimental project, and we've been working on this for about 10 years, and it was discovered by accident. A professor came to New York and ordered roses for his wife. They delivered the roses, And in the bundle of roses, the flowers are packed in a palmer, little beads. I'm sure you've seen it because American florists use it all the time. Sometimes you buy vases and it'll have the palmer in there. This palmer is made here in the United States. It's very inexpensive. And he thought, you know, that might work in in a different way. Has anybody ever tried to use this palmer to grow crops? So he started beginning to study this product. What the palmer does is it attracts the moisture, and over a 3-month period, it can last up to 3 months, it releases the moisture. So in the arid season, what we are doing now is we are harvesting the rain. We're collecting the rainwater off the roofs. We're storing it with this palmer in tow sacks as a solid. And then, when the rainy season's over, we're mixing it with soil, we're putting it in pots, and we are growing vegetables. We're giving families, test families, up to 16 of these pots with 4 vegetables in each pot. If this works, the next step would be to apply it to a larger area, because this could save hundreds of thousands of lives. Because why are people dying in the world? The most common reason? Starvation, lack of food. In arid countries where there are no water sources available, they can't grow crops. This may be able to be mixed with soil and in a large area and grow large crops that could feed people. We're in a study stage. It may not work, but it's a pilot and it's a hope that we might make something better. You know, 70% of this globe is covered by water, but only 1% of it is usable, drinkable, and sanitary for human consumption. We have the technology for desalinization, but we spend it for oil and other things rather than developing those to provide water. These things are a hope for the future. One of the other things that was very impressive to us is we operate an orphanage for girls that has been there for 99 years. It was established by a local physician who saw the need to care for the girls. It's been operated for 4 generations of his family. When the last member of that family was unable to sustain and keep the orphanage open, Rotary stepped up and took it over to help operate it. There are 66 girls there. They range from the age of 2 years of age to 18. When the girls reach 18, we ask them to leave so we can make room for someone else. Why do we choose these people? Because there are hundreds and hundreds of children that are left on the streets in Mexico City with no one to care for them. The life expectancy for these girls is between 12 and 14 years of age. They're used basically in the slave trade or as prostitutes. And if not in that area, they're used to transport drugs across the border as mules for the drug cartel. Now, before we think about all those evil Mexicans and why could they do something like that and why should they use these girls? These girls have no choice. They have no bond. No, they've been left abandoned on the street. We can only take 66 of them, but that's 66 that we've saved. These girls have a place to stay. They have food. They have clean clothes. We have counselors there who try to help. We have a counselor there who tries to help them because most of them have been abused. They have an opportunity to grow and to live. At 18, we hope that they can either go on to school if they're possible, and we have had 2 or 3 that have gone in the last 5 or 6 years, or they at least have a chance to make a living. But you know, we have some of the blame for that, because the other reason that they're caught in that system is pure greed. The girls have no chance. They have no hope. They have no education. But they do it for the money. Where does that money come from? It comes from here, because our young people and our adults are buying the drugs. So we're funding that system. We've got to stop that. Your money to the foundation provides a place for those 66 girls. And thank you for all you do with that. You know, those are things that we can think about, and this can be told about many places around the world. So when you're looking and you have funds that you want to commit, you need to look carefully at what the funds are going for and the benefit, long-range terms. Are you really helping them, or are you creating a problem? We've had some problems, especially in Haiti, where we've made the situation worse because we're not helping those people. We keep giving them handouts and they never change. They would just wait for the next handout. So make sure that your project is there, that you can help people to change the way they live, and you can share the benefits that you have. That's what Rotary is all about. If you share that message with other Rotarians, they understand completely. But it's when you share it with the community that they understand that you're here to help other people and you'd like their help. You will gain people to come to help you. So that's our basic goal. Increase our membership. Make our clubs bigger and stronger so that we can do more. And yes, every year there'll be a district governor come. They'll talk to you about giving money to the polio. They'll talk to you about giving money to the foundation, and then they'll be gone. The important person and persons in Rotary are sitting right there. It's you. It's your decision. You know, you're only limited by your imagination and your willingness to accomplish a goal that you set. I have confidence that Rotary is one of those outstanding organizations that has accomplished such a great deal. I also want to tell you how proud I am to be a member of this district, and you should be so proud, because the Polio Plus campaign would not be as effective as it is if it hadn't been for this district, because it started with a person from this district. We don't always talk about that. 1979, they elected an unlikely candidate to be president of Rotary National, and he was from a little place called Shelbyville, Tennessee. His name was James Bomar. We had been successful. We had eradicated polio. Now, some of you in this room will remember, because I remember when I was a small boy, they came to the school and they gave me a sugar cube and they had drops. Now, if you're a little older than me, but there's not many of you in here that are older than me, they gave you a shot. But I remember when they closed the swimming pools and said you couldn't swim because 300,000 Americans were dying of polio a year. That's, you know, they may have been the lucky ones, because some of those that didn't die were put in iron lungs. They had to lay on their back the rest of their life because they had to have something that would breathe for them. I'm not sure that they were so lucky. But we'd accomplished that here. James Bomar said, we should think about going to some of these countries that have not conquered this disease and wipe it out. So he chose the Philippines and said, let's wipe out polio in the Philippines. The board of directors first came back, and when they had the discussion, they said, that's impossible, you'll never do that. They're too isolated, it's going to cost too much money to get the vaccines there. We can't do that. He said, I'm the president this year, 1 year, this is my goal. And they agreed to try it. Within 2 years, they had eliminated polio in the Philippines. What an amazing start. And then we had other people. We had a person from the Oak Ridge Club who came, and you should be very familiar with that person. Bill Sargent, who was appointed to do an international campaign to head up raising funds and operate the polio around the world internationally. It's people like him that kept this program going. Then we had a president from Cookeville, James Lacey, who also was interested in maintaining polio and raising funds, because Rotary could not do this alone. We had to have the help. We had to have the help of Congress, the World Health Organization, the CDC, and any contributions he could get. So that was his mission. And even today, James Lacey is in Washington, walking the halls of the Senate and the House, lobbying those people to get funds to continue the support to eradicate polio. It's been a long time since he's been president. Well, it didn't end there. I am so excited that in 2016-17, John Germ will be the president of Rotary International, elected from the Chattanooga Club. We're only the second club in the whole Rotary world that's ever had 3 Rotary International presidents. But we have made our mark with polio and the dedication of those giants who started it and have maintained it. If you don't know John Germ, but I think most of you do, you know, he's the one that will twist your arm as long as he sees you, or you have to grab his hand and pull it out of your pocket because he's trying to get money for polio. He wants more funds. It was announced in Kansas City that John Germ had raised more money than any other man for a social cause in the history of the world. Now that's remarkable. Now he had a lot of help, Bill Gates and a lot of you who donated to the Polio Plus campaign. But he's responsible. They're predicting that polio will end in 2017-18. John will be president of Rotary International, so we have come full circle. We hope that we can meet that goal. I think we can meet that goal. But it's those people from this district that have kept that program going. So you are part of a special Rotary district. I am standing on the giants of Rotary, and I'm worried about the next Rotary meeting. That's, you know, I'm not going to meet those kind of expectations, but I'm so honored to be your district governor. Thank you for having me. Keep up the good work, and you have done some marvelous things in this club. Thank you.